Hello, my friends. This is Iowa 101, and I decided to do this story because actually it's well, it's not really entertaining. It's actually kind of disturbing. It all actually started in 2007. This is kind of a story time thing. Um, it started at a birthday party that I had at my friend's store. He ran an anime store, and he thought it would be a great idea to invite my friends and I to do some, random meetup things. And this was in 2007, so at the time I was turning 27 years old, so that was kind of cool. It was a potluck, and people brought food, donated food, things like that. Anything that was left over, we kind of just let some of the local neighborhood kids have some of it because, well, they're local neighborhood kids. And my friend, I'll call her E, decided she was going to do experimental cooking. This is a girl we never let in the kitchen for any reason whatsoever. No offense to E. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell she made that made everybody look at her really funny. I think it was the fact that she was trying to cook cookies and they didn't turn out the way they should have. Damn it. As you might have guessed, I'm actually kind of sick right now, so I'm kind of going in between what the doctors have given me and a bunch of other stuff, okay? So, anyway, let's start with, jeez, how do I just start this story? So it started out as a birthday thing. My friend, we were just having this thing, and this really weird kid showed up. He was about 16, I guess. 15, 16 years old. And, oh boy, this is going to be one hell of a story, because this is going to span for a couple years. So, his name, we'll call him KR Creeper. Because, dear God, this guy's a creeper. So, anyway, he found me online once or twice, and I kind of went, okay, I don't really want you to be my friend. You're a little weird. But in 2010, he started actually telling me a few things, and it got kind of weird. My fiance and I were having a few issues, and it was just some minor stuff, arguments and things like that. And I was thinking he was going to break up with me. Turned out it was a communication error, and we had a long talk about it. But of course, this guy developed a very unhealthy crush on me, and had a crush on me since he was 16. You can tell where this is going. So, yeah, that was kind of unhealthy. So, after a while, I blocked him, and then he blocked me. We made up, friendship thing, yeah. And then, a couple years later, I found out he was on the news. He almost got shot. And I thought, oh my God, I hope he changed. I hope he didn't. He did in another round of bad decision making. And instead of being the nice, innocent guy that he is, he turned into full-blown creep of the century. Now, I will tell you what his little creeper thing did. So, we made up, and he wanted to do meetups. Well, unfortunately, our schedules are not always going to coalesce in the way it is. I have a job, he had a job. Well, one day, a pre-planned event, I invited my sister, who is really close to me, and I wanted to bring her along, but unfortunately she was actually moving back up to my parents' house, so I did not. So she kind of didn't want to deal with people. So I was like, okay. And then he whined to me about how he didn't think it was fair that it was a girl's day out. And then he sent me a very long-winded text saying that he didn't think that I was blowing him off, blah, blah, blah. It was like the most irritating, childish thing I had ever read. Handed my phone to my boyfriend, who told me just block him. So after a few minor texts and conversation of trying me reasoning with this guy, I said, okay, screw this. I blocked him. Now, the thing is, this is a guy who believes he still has a chance with me. I don't look that pretty. I do not think I'm very pretty at all. I'm very lucky that my fiance even cares about me. Well, actually, he loves me to death, so it's kind of a win-win on one side of this whole debacle. But the thing is, when I was looking at Rebecca Parham's thing about the girlfriend fairy, I am really wishing your girlfriend fairy thing would work on this guy and get him out of my life permanently. I.e., possibly, please. I'm desperate on this one. Because also with Cypher Den's little stalker stories, I was like sitting there going, oh my god, this guy is a cyber stalker in his own way. Because here's the other side of the whole thing. For years, I was into stuff that was outside of the Japanese animation groups. I was into stuff like, let's see, Asian philosophy, history, World War II. Yes, I still study that. It's kind of an interest of mine. I'm right now covering Europe and stuff, so yeah, that's gonna be kind of a mainstream, because I covered the Pacific part of the World War II first, which I shouldn't have done because it mixed everything up. Then, of course, I'm also into a show called Forever Night, which is about a vampire detective. Not to be confused with Moonlight. But here's the screwed up thing about this guy. So I'm sitting there watching Forever Night, and he was texting me about it. He asked me what I was doing. I was like, I'm watching Forever Night. I'm kind of busy. I have this thing I'm working on. Oh, okay. So he looked it up. Oh, wow, this is cool. I'm like, oh my god, leave me alone. And he started actually watching the show. But the thing is, he started trying to join every single group I was in. I feel sorry for any of the admins and moderators for the Forever Night group. It's not like it was like in 2011 with what's her name, but this was even close to that. But this guy, I blocked, and he messaged me asking why I blocked him, and when I told him I didn't really tell him my reasoning, I allowed one of my friends to do it. And, yeah, anyone who wants to talk to Nerve, then him, thank you. Tell anyone who talked to this guy, I am very thankful for their, efforts to chase him off, because that was kind of scary. And my scary thing is, I'm still kind of terrified. He's actually the reason I don't like going to certain anime conventions, because it's kind of hard to walk up to security at a convention and go, hi, I'm not trying to be a bother, but I'm being followed by some really weird creeper guy that isn't my cat. I'd much rather have my cat Hazel following me than having anything else. Hell, I will be very thankful if it was some sort of little fat tubby thing like this. This kind of kitty. I will go for it. I would not be minding if I was being stalked by a furry kitten. I wouldn't mind if it was being stalked by a puppy. Actually, I'd probably just kidnap both of those, because I like puppies and kittens. But after watching Cypher Den's little stalker stories, I was like, I'm really glad hers are not as bad as mine, because this was going on for several years. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm finished. This is my end of the story. I am done with this, and I wanted to tell people the story. And I wish if I could animate it, I would, because it would make it feel less personal. But again, this is, I was creeped out by a lot of things, and all of this started in 2007 at a birthday party. And it all started because I was nice to somebody. And being nice is all well and good, but when that person starts actually being overly, let's just say not like my puff kitty, because I love my little puff kitty, but I just don't get stalkers that well. I don't understand them. And when dealing with him, the only problem with him is, in my state, the anime community will do nothing to protect you. They think it's your fault, you shouldn't have done this, or they victim blame the person that's being stalked, and usually that's not a good thing. Back in 2009, I had the same issue with a former roommate, but the thing is, my former roommate and I made up after a couple of years, and we sorted out our money issues. But the problem was, even he said that he did not feel comfortable with me being out. He would have rather, if I go to an anime convention, pay the extra money and drag my fiance along, because my fiance may hate it, but I would have that protection. And my fiance actually likes going to events like the Dragon Boat Festival, the Sakura Festival. He actually does like going to those. And he doesn't hate on people, but he does dislike it when people try to take advantage of me and my fiance. Well, he doesn't like it when people take advantage of me. He doesn't like people who take advantage of him. And this guy tried to take advantage of me on so many different occasions, and one of which was to instigate a meetup, even though my health and my things are not as always that great. I am going to mention that the reason I haven't been doing video games lately is I have been ill. I was hoping to get back on pretty soon, but unfortunately my health is still not as great as it should be. It is not fun to be sick, and with the stalker situation I'm on right now, I am very sorry to all my friends on the YouTube group that I'm with. You guys are awesome, but I don't want to bother you guys with any of the mental anguish I've been going through because of this person. And this has been going on since February. And it hurts. Also, the reason I haven't been wearing my implant for my tooth recently, it's been painful to wear. And my ex doesn't... my ex-boyfriend and my fiance and I have not yet talked about trying to get me to a dentist. My ex is actually my best friend, so he is still always in my life. I have a few funny stories with him in it, and if you go to Reddit, I hope Chaos55T actually reads one of the stories that involves my ex-boyfriend, because it actually does have relevance. I will talk later, and I'll see you later.